Welcome to aminacademy.com. In History of Muslim World, let us discuss about rightly guided caliphs, their simplicity in life. The early caliphs used to live a most simple and unostentatious life. Upon this subject, the following remarks may be usefully quoted from the Al-Bayan. The whole world unanimously admits that the caliphs, in spite of their being masters of vast empire, used to lead the humble life of poor and simple dervishes. They had no palaces for their habitation and no splendid chamber or set of rooms to serve as their popular parlor. Their houses were in no way more comfortable than those of the middle classes, while in their dress and the outer appearance of life, they were in no way distinguishable from the common folk of the country. They lived often in circumstances of the utmost poverty. Now we'll discuss one by one. Caliph Abu Bakr. Abu Bakr, the first caliph of the Islam, was known for his simplicity and was described by Ali as the first to every good. Here are some examples of Abu Bakr's simple life. Abu Bakr, the first Rashidun caliph, was known for his generosity and was one of the first Muslims to convert to Islam. Donated his wealth. Abu Bakr was a wealthy businessman who gave alms, freed slaves, and donated his riches to support Muhammad's work. Abu Bakr bought camels, horses, and weapons for jihad. Abu Bakr divided the zakat of minerals had received from Bani Sulaim equally among the people, including masters and slaves, males and females, and the young and the old. Distributed clothing. Abu Bakr bought thick clothing from the Bedouins and distributed it to the widows of Medina in winter. Persuaded others to convert. Abu Bakr convinced others to convert to Islam, including Uthman bin Affan, the third caliph of Islam. Abu Bakr was also a close friend of Muhammad's and accompanied him on his migration to Medina, and in several of his military conflicts, he was the only Rashidun caliph to die of natural causes. Next, Caliph Umar. Umar, one of the rightly guided caliphs, was known of his simple lifestyle. He was known for wearing clothes with many pictures, taking only enough allowances from the state to eat a simple meal and wear simple clothes, visiting the sick and old and doing their housework, visiting soldiers' home, inquire about their families, staying awake at night in Salaah, that is prayer, and often fasting. Caliph Uthman. Uthman ibn Affan, the third caliph in Islamic history, was known for his generosity and magnanimity. He was a member of a wealthy family and successful merchant, but he gave away most of his wealth to charity. Some examples of his generosity include negotiating a price for half a well, buying slaves and setting them free, giving 200 saddled camels and 200 ounces of gold, and it is for some war donation, giving 1,000 dirhams, surpassing the Prophet Muhammad's donations by giving 900 equipped camels. Uthman's generosity made him well liked and respected by the people and helped to create a better environment for Muslims. He also implemented policies to promote economic justice and invested in projects that benefit the Muslim community. Uthman's life is considered a model of piety, generosity, humility, and perseverance. Perseverance. Some say that his legacy offers valuable lessons in integrity, compassion, and devotion. Caliph Ali. Caliph Ali was known for his generosity and compassion towards the less privileged, especially orphans. He was also known for his simplicity and kind-heartedness. Some of his acts of generosity include providing for needs of believers. Ali spent much of his time in Mecca from 610 to 622, helping the poor and distributing what he had among them, secretly placing food at the doorstep of orphans. Ali would carry bags of grain and flour on his back and place them at the doorsteps of orphans in the darkness of night. He would knock on the door and quickly disappear so that the recipients of the aid did not feel embraced. Prioritizing the needs of orphans, Ali paid diligent attention to the care and needs of orphans. Ali was the caliph between 656 and 661 CE. He was known as a just and fair ruler who reigned over a Rashidun empire. Ali, Ali first distinguished himself as a warrior in 624 at the Battle of Badr. He defeated the Umayyad champion Walid ibn Utbah as well as many other Meccan soldiers. His art of battle was so brilliant that in the battle there were 70 polytheists, that is mushrikeen. 35 of them, more than half of them, were killed by Ali. Further discussion, detailed discussion about this. The garment of the Caliph Umar used to wear was patched in many places. They had no sentries at their gates, nor did they travel mounted on chariots and accompanied with splendor. Like ordinary people, they would go everywhere on foot and they never felt the least humiliation in doing their own marketing themselves. They were accessible to all. Everyone had the right of approaching them personally in order to make complaints to defray the expenses of their domestic establishment. They were entitled to a poor monthly stipend of only 30 dirhams from the public chest. After discharging the administrative duties of sovereignty, they would remain absorbed in prayers at night and in preparing themselves for the next world. This was their only point of distinction from the common people of the world. In patience, purity, self sacrifice, meekness, and the possession of loving and forgiving dispositions, they were models unto all. They considered to everybody the right of freely criticizing their action, and they refrained from striking or putting in confinement the meanest of their subjects. One dark night, Omar was walking. Along the streets of Medina, involuntarily in the dark. He happened to tread upon the foot of another, where it the latter cried out, "Are you blind? Can't you see?" Omar begged him forgiveness at once and pleaded that he had not been able to see in the dark. The man recognized the Caliph and expressed regret for his mistake, but Omar stopped him and said, "No, you are right. No, you are right. The fault is indeed mine." On another occasion, Omar set forth on a toured through Syria for subsistence. On the way, he had a little powdered barley in a vessel of wood, while for convenience of traveling, he had a camel with him and was attended by a single servant. Sometimes the caliph would ride on the animal and the servant would lead it by the rope, while at other times it was the servant who would the caliph ride and the caliph would lead the beast by the rope. Wherever he heard complaints about oppression committed by his official, he would stop at once and make provisions for immediate redress. Arriving at his destination, he was received by the army with welcoming shouts of Allah Akbar. Finding their Amir poorly dressed and accompanied by a single servant, they compelled him to mount a fine horse and put on a fine suit of clothes. And in this altered habit, he proceeded to interview the Christians. But after he had advanced for some distances, he got down from the horse and said, "Bringing me back my patched and darned garment again. The wearing of this fine suit of clothes makes me feel proud. I have heard it said by the holy prophet of God that the man who has a particle of pride in him can never smell even the distant fragrance of heaven." It was the Caliph Umar who first promulgated the law that no Arab who was captured in battle or purchased from money would ever be reduced to slavery, and that unlike as among the Romans, there should be no sale of sons by fathers or of debtors by their creditors. In the Middle of Age, thousands of slaves, both black and white, were imported every year into Islamic Empire. Large number of Turkish slaves were brought for sale to the bazaar of Baghdad from Turkestan, Central Asia, and Fergana, while hundreds of slaves used to be brought also from Africa, especially Sudan. Many white slaves were also imported from Persia and Greece, while slavery prevailed also in such countries as Spain and Italy. The system of slavery continued to exist till the end of the 8th century. So it was not simply in Arabia, but throughout the ancient world, whether the Eastern or Western, that slavery prevailed during the Middle Ages. But Islam regarded emancipation, emancipation of slaves as an act of merit. Muslims believed that such emancipation was sure to be rewarded in the next world. It was one of the ordinances of the Holy Prophet that whoever set free a single Muslim slave should escape forever from the fears of hellfire. The Holy Quran says, "Honor the Lord and the kind even unto your slaves." The Holy Prophet used to say, "Whatever you eat, that you must give to your Memluk to eat, and whatever you wear, that you must give unto your slaves also to wear. And such among them as are unable to work, you won't compel them to work." Many remarkable incidents are recorded also about Ali. During the period of his sovereignty, he had purchased a set of armor from a Jew and had paid the usual price for it. But the Jew wanted to test the sincerity and truthfulness of his character, and so he brought a false suit against him. The Qazi, acting under the ordinary system of Islamic judicial procedure, issued summons upon the Caliph. Appearing in court, Ali found that a suit had been brought against him by a certain Jew. The Caliph declared that he had already paid the price for the suit of armor he had purchased, But the Qazi rejoined, "You are bound to establish your assertion by evidence, or I shall pass judgment against you." Ali cited as witness on his behalf his son, Imam Hussein, and his slave Camber. But the Jew pointed out that the evidence of a son on behalf of his father or of a slave on behalf of his master was unacceptable. The Qazi admitted the force of this contention and passed sentence on the Caliph so that he had to pay a Jew twice over. But immediately on receipt of the money, the Jew admitted in open court that his suit was false and he had brought it only in order to test the justice and sincerity of the court, the Qazi and the Caliph. Shortly after, the aforesaid Jew embraced Islam. Here we discussed about life simplicity of right Caliph. We have done. Please subscribe our YouTube channel.